everybody, what is going on? It is Dunbar Snack Bar with MLB 13 The Show, and here we go with some Lou Gehrig road to the show. Lately, we've been able to have a few great games with Gehrig, especially after the All-Star break. My gosh, he's been on fire since then, so I'm hoping that all of this continues, and we just have a great rest of the season with him, too. Been able to hit some home runs, steal some bases. I mean, Lou's been an all-around player. It's been so cool that he's been able to do that. I just thought it'd be, all right, well, I'm going to just hit home runs and stuff like that. I really didn't think I'd be stealing so many bases, too. So it kind of gets me excited for what I'm going to do next year. And I was thinking about teasing you guys a little bit, just announcing, like, you know, hey, or giving you guys hints about what team I'm going to be for franchise or the players that I'm going to be doing for Lou Gehrig, or for, road to the show next year. But I won't do that. Even though I think I just did tease you guys a little bit with it. Oh, well. That stuff happens. Anyway, starting it off here with a high fly ball into left. That one's going to be caught, so no home run to start the game off. That'd be cool. But anyway, so, yeah, with everything that's been going on with the technical difficulties lately, I haven't been able to get to a setup video quite yet. So I will probably be doing that this weekend. I still have a ton of homework that I have to do as well. So I'm learning Network Plus, which is a certification that you get which teaches you how computer networks work, how to set them up, and things like that. And it's been going pretty good. I mean, I'm surprised I've been able to learn some of this stuff as quickly as I had, because I went into it at first and I was just like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? But now I'm starting to pick up on it. I've been on like this big, huge learning, thing too. I mean, I've got to still work on some stuff on getting back to like school full time. Well, not full time, but get back to finishing my degree, which I was stupid and didn't finish. So make sure that you guys don't make that mistake. Don't drop out of college. Now, granted, I mean, my situation was a little bit different because it was right when the economy just crashed, and where I was working, we were laying off some people, and I wasn't going to get laid off, but the boss was like, hey, if you don't take these shifts, we're going to let you go. And the shifts that I had to take were when I was in school. So I kind of had to drop out. Actually, I didn't have to. Because I was like, well, I don't want to live off of student loans. But at the same time, if I, drop out, who knows if I'll be able to go back. And then here I am, not having gone back, and it was a stupid mistake. But yeah, I mean, going back doing Network Plus has just been like, oh, cool. I really do miss like learning things a little bit. So I've been watching a lot more documentaries on YouTube and stuff like that while, I do videos and stuff. And I've been watching a lot of like science ones because I reached, just a little bit ago, I was kind of thinking, hey, if I go back to school, what do I want to do? I thought about a lot of different things, and one thing that I absolutely loved when I was growing up is I loved science and physics especially. So I've been watching a lot of documentaries about physics. Not necessarily like, hey, here's what force is, but I mean, I'm talking like, string theory and, larger like astrophysics and theoretical physics, stuff like that, which has been really cool. So, and I don't know why, but I've been focusing a lot of my documentaries around, well, I shouldn't say surprisingly or anything. I mean, I know why, but I've been watching a lot of like space ones in particular. Like the idea of us not only living in a universe, but in a multiverse, something that extends beyond, the four dimensions by which we live in, if you consider time to be a unified fourth dimension. But anyway, so the idea is that there's a whole bunch of three-dimensional universes that exist. So you can kind of think of it as like a bag with marbles in it, and each one of the marbles is like a universe. There's that, and then other ideas about it too is with string theory. It's really interesting. So string theory, when you talk about the extreme subatomic particles, you can break it down even further to these oscillating ribbons of energy, which are called strings. And the way that they oscillate determines what type of subatomic particle that it's going to go ahead and be, and then thus you have, what type of, part of the atom it's going to be. It's all this crazy stuff. But in string theory, when you take a look at the math for these, strings to exist, they formulated 11 dimensions. So there's the possibility that the universe that we exist in has 11 dimensions. So when you think about the possibilities of that, it's pretty crazy. So if you break it down, like just to kind of get an idea of how crazy this stuff can be. So you have a two-dimensional object. Let's just say you have a square. Now, with a two-dimensional object, you can only be like forwards and backwards, side to side. Up and down does not exist. So it's perfectly flat. So if it's perfectly flat, then you can stack an infinite amount of squares in a cube. Because, there's no height to it. So, an infinite amount. So from a three-dimensional perspective too, you can look down on the square and you can see everything that exists in that square. Somebody who's living in that type of universe wouldn't be able to see anything. So it's crazy to think that if you have an infinite amount of two-dimensional squares that can exist into a cube, then that should translate to you have an infinite amount of three-dimensional universes that can exist in an 11-dimensional multiverse. So that's been something that's been absolutely interesting. And it's kind of like making me think, well, geez, it'd be so cool to go back to school and being like an astrophysicist or something like that. But I don't know if I could do it now that I'm married and stuff. I would want to be a theoretical physicist. That would be cool, where you just kind of think of, the implications of physics on a society, or just like the world in general. So one physicist that I've been listening to a lot, there's actually a couple, Neil deGrasse Tyson, which a lot of you guys may know. He's awesome. The way that he explains stuff, it's just great. He really makes you think. But there's another theoretical physicist, and I'm probably mispronouncing his name, but it's Michio Kaku. And he wrote a book, which I started reading a while ago when I was actually headed to Denver, which is called Physics of the Impossible, where he talks about things in science fiction and how you could really go about getting something like force fields, teleportation. What else did he had? Like creating a Death Star and stuff, like how you could actually go about doing those things. And it's been really, really cool, getting me excited. But, when I think about, man, it'd be so cool to get a physics degree and go into astrophysics and stuff. The reality of it is I probably can't do that. So that's kind of been sad. But it's been cool going back, learning a whole bunch of things. When I was growing up and I was in elementary school, I read every single book that my school had about space. Like, I would surprise people just being like, hey, did you know that Neptune and Pluto have an orbit that at times will make Pluto closer to the sun than Neptune? And for a while, that was actually the case too. So, there was that, and there were other things too that I just loved. I wanted to be an astronaut really, really bad when I was a kid. I would have done anything to be an astronaut. And then I found out that I had to wear glasses, and I knew that while that didn't eliminate me from being an astronaut or anything like that, it'd become a lot more difficult for me to go through the path that I wanted to, which was to be a fighter pilot in the Air Force and then become an astronaut. But anyway, science I've always loved, especially physics. Biology I never really could stand. And chemistry, I was just really bad at chemistry. But physics was cool. That stuff you could go ahead and you could experience. And you could see it, if you have two objects at different weights, you drop them at the same time. It's, hey, there you go. So, Einstein and relativity. That's something I've been focusing a lot on as well. Not just the theory of relativity, but the theory of general relativity. And just kind of like Einstein's other theories too, like his 1905 papers. I've been thinking about reading that, but right now I'm actually reading Tom Clancy book, Without Remorse. After Tom Clancy died, which was really sad, I was like, man, I need to read a whole bunch of his books. So I'm starting off with that one. I think I'm going to go chronological order for the Jack Ryan series, and John Clark and stuff. But, whew. I've just spoken a lot to you guys. You're probably like, what the heck is he talking about? Who the heck is this Jack Ryan guy? What the heck's he doing talking about 11-dimensional multiverse? This dude's cray-cray. Anyway, it's almost 6 o'clock in the morning, and I've done so many videos. More than I've done in a while, actually. And so I'm like, I'm kind of worn out. I made it. Steal another base. I think I'm actually leading all of Major League with stolen bases. Surprised me with that one, that's for sure. But, I mean, it helps the team out. Puts me in scoring position. And it gives me something else to be able to work on besides just my bat when it comes to, training and things. But here we are, bottom of the ninth. Yankees up 6-2 over the Orioles. This might end up being the last play of the game for Lou. But Robbie Cano makes the throw. An easy out right there. So 2 outs left to go. Kind of zoom out here, take a look at what happens for the rest of the game. Ooh, a home run. I'll just make it 6-3. But there we go. We get out of that one. So a big win. I probably bored you guys to tears throughout all of this. Anyway. Thanks for watching, you guys. I sure do appreciate it. More of this to come later on, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Remember, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, all that great jazz. You guys are phenomenal people. You really are. Thank you again. And as always, I hope you guys have a good one.